Okay, so it's still March 21st, 2020, people. And do you see this? What do you see? You see pears, August 2015, from the pear tree in the back here. Okay, this is where these pears came from. And I'm telling you, they are so good. So good, people. You don't know how good these are. So anyway, I'm making for Amari, right? Okay, and this one's mine. Okay, I'll mash up his, right? Put a little bit of the syrup in there, right? And then just plain up, straight, organic, unflavored. And he loves it. He loves it. But I just want to show you how food prep works, people. Okay? Don't underestimate it. Okay, in my favorite spot in life. So yeah, you just take your yogurt. Everybody knows that. Put that there. Well, that might be too much for Amari. I'll take out some of that. I don't know what I'm thinking. When you're tired and kind of from all that work, physical work, right? You know what I mean? Your brain's not always thinking correctly. Amari will eat this. So I asked my son to take me shopping. He said, well, I don't know, Mom. Depends on what the malls are like. But anyway, he said he would. Because I want to stock up on sugar, butter. In light of what's been going on, I might buy another powder milk, right? Obviously, maybe 10 cartons of eggs. Put them in Auntie Shimei's fridge. I want you to see this. Look at that. I'm going to open up this right now, people. And I am going to taste it. Okay? Because Tisha is so worried. She's so worried for me. You know, she doesn't want me to catch the coronavirus and die. She said, everybody's dying, Mom. You know, you're old. You're more at risk for it. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm more at risk from dying from coming into contact with anthrax or some kind of bug that lives in dirt, right? Than I am with coronavirus at this point. I reminded her that the person who, what is it called? Created the Muppets. You know, the Sesame Street. You know that dude? The creator of the actual little Muppets, right? He went in his garden and he was doing gardening, apparently, without gloves. And he somehow, you know, cut his skin or whatever, and bacteria or whatever got into him. Anthrax or whatever the hell it was. Because anthrax lives in dirt, right? Usually in cow fields and places like that. But anthrax lives in dirt. So anyway, he came into something that killed him, right? That lives in dirt. So I told her, I said, you know, I'm more at risk for the amount of dirt that I work with, and you know, I wear gloves, and even though I put gloves in gloves, by the time I'm done, by the end of the day, you know, I've got dirt in my nails, you know, my fingers are black, and then sometimes something, little gloves, they rip, and, you know, or I get a cut, and it's like, oh, did you hear that pop? This is real blackberry juice from Fertile Myrtle. Look at that. I wonder. Look how rich. Definitely tastes like blackberry. And because it's concentrated, it's like, drink enough of this over the next week or two as I'm outside, because I've got lots of jars of this. I don't think I'll get sick. I got a little runny nose, a little bit, just a little bit. Just a little bit of cough, but nothing too major. So, this is like medicine, right? So I'm going to do that. And we're going to give some to Amari. Now, I don't know if he'll drink it straight up concentrated or if maybe I should water it down a little bit. What I'll do is I'll give it to him first, straight up like that. See if he just wants to do it like that. And if he wants to drink it, I'll let him drink it. Otherwise, I'm going to freeze some in right now in an ice tray. And then when I want, I can take the ice cube out and then mash it into a little bit of a slush and give it to him by a spoon. I have one of those sucky things, but I don't know where it is, so I'm not going to sweat it too much. I'm just going to do it this way. Andre really likes this stuff frozen because it freezes, because it's so rich. Oh my God. I like them like popsicles, like frozen popsicles. Oh, these are so good. So, I'm just saying, food storage works, right? For what it's worth, in terms of the amount of time that you put into it, it really does come in handy. And of course, there's this, remember those? Still have a few of those around. So, I think in light of what I'm doing, doesn't that look good? That's so good. These are good, man. So I'm going to leave this in the fridge so it can unthaw a little bit, and then later on, because my gut kind of hurts, right? Just because I'm not feeling really that great, but besides that point, I'm going to put it right now in the fridge just like this, and let it just sit for a while, and when I'm ready, you just take yourself a frying pan, you take everything out, put it in the frying pan, add a little bit of water, turn it on for whatever it is, and heat it up for yourself. And boy, oh boy, it's so, so good. And then, of course, don't forget, I still have those tuna casserole things with the cheese and stuff, so I can always pop one of those in the oven. Right, so I don't have to cook tonight. I can just do that. This blackberry juice, I'll tell you, it's pretty rich. And then with my neighbor next door, I try and tell these young Punjabi men over here that this plant that produces this is like a tea. Right, and it's like kind of like for the lungs, see, to help clear out the lungs. That's what the Korean told me. So I have, right, and I'm gonna drink more of it. I had a cup this morning, and I don't even take sugar with it. I just drink it straight up, just with a little. I put some of those leaves in that, in the hot water, and steep it, and then I just drink it, and I don't mind it, right? So in light of what's going on, I'm going to try and drink a couple, 2-3 cups a day. I did it once, twice before, and I found I got tired, but then I was probably already tired. So, you know, I drank one just like that, just about an hour ago. And no ill effects. So, cheers.
Go ahead, please.
Mr. President,
I'm just too tired to go outside.
About masks, we've also talked about how not everyone needs to take a test.
I can't wear myself too thin here,
As
right?
we know, we all came into this room and got tested before we entered.
Well, I do it.
Well, I'm
I do
listening.
it. I have temperature tests, and
But should
I didn't ask everybody here, but I wouldn't be surprised
And,
if they had temperature tests.
should those
I don't know,
thermometers-
BC on Facebook, on
Should
CTV
they-
News was
should
up
they
there
be
talking
on a
about
mass
homeless people and
distribution basis, too?
all these support systems they're
I think
going
they
to
are
bring
pretty
in.
much. The easiest thing
And
is the
I actually was
temperature.
trying to
I
do a
think
little
they are. I don't
video,
know.
but the camera wasn't
Are you
turned
learning
on.
a lot from the temperature test, Tony? Could you maybe
And,
discuss that
what
for
do
a
you call
second?
it?
I mean, they have a place. They're not infallible. I mean, there's so many ways to get around that. I mean,
gonna be letting Sierra
right
out
now,
pretty
every
soon,
time,
people from
certainly
jail.
here, we get. Every time I
She'll
go
be
into
the
a
one that
different
will
room,
bring
I
you
get
to
my
the house, and
temperature
that's where I'll
taken.
get sick.
But we see that on the outside
comes
that
here
some
and
people
asks
are
I
doing.
took his
that.
temperature
It was very low.
Talking about BC
There
was
is a
talking about
role
how
for
landlords
it
can't
under
kick
certain
out their tenants at
circumstances.
this
What I don't
point
see
in
is a
time in
massive
life.
distribution of thermometers that are going to actually
Even
have
though
a
I've got the
major
city.
impact on
Got me
what
out
I
in the yard,
showed,
right?
what we need to do.
So I'll get kicked out.
And I I say, I've seen things when Tony mentions thermometers. They aim something at your forehead. They stay this far away, boom, and they tell you what your temperature is. I said, I've never seen that before.
I don't know.
I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. It's incredible. Go ahead, the back corner.
Judge Pellegrino with OAN, thank you. This morning, the Washington Post ran a story suggesting that you delayed taking action on the virus in January and February. Dr. Fauci has indicated that your action in the Chinese travel ban helped America immensely. What do you say to the Washington Post?
I'm going to buy another big bag
whoever you're with.
what is it called? Powder milk.
That's because I think that's such a nice. That's such a nice question. No, I think the Washington Post covers us very inaccurately. Covers me very inaccurately. I saw this story. I think it's a disgrace. But
okay, people, I'm just too tired. Yeah, I think I might have to rest today. Here's my food. We know what happens when I eat. So, it's unthawed now. Right? And I put a little bit of water in there. It's the second time now. So now I'm going to just simmer it, get it nice and hot, and then I'm going to crisp it up. Hold on. Whoa. So, Amari's going to get some in a little while. There's some ham, a little bit of macaroni. Obviously, I haven't mashed the carrots yet, and that's a parsnip. Me, I can put it like that, and then I'm going to warm it up later in a separate pot, because he just had his pears with his yogurt. So, as you can see, it's all already, and now I'm just going to crisp it up a little bit for myself. I'm telling you, people, I'm too tired, man. If I eat this food, I'm going to crash. And, like, you know, I'm worked outside for 2 days, right? So I'm kind of like worn out here. So I don't know if I'm going to make it outside today. I'm having panic attacks. Do you see? Now I'm having panic attacks because of the city. Again, right? Anyway, I was doing a little video on this stuff. This is to do with Victoria. Vancouver, right where I live.
Social distancing,
this is
potential healthcare
the provincial government
have the opportunity
trying to control the homeless population
they're
in between the ones living on the street, the ones living in tents, the ones living in shelters,
and help prevent the spread of the virus.
And the ones living in these modules, these stack and pack modules
that shelters
put up
remain
for them.
Typically at this time of the year, we would be looking at phasing out some of our winter shelters, and we will keep those open that can be kept open for an extended period of time. As the minister said, we're placing a moratorium on evictions for non-payment of...
Shut down the shelters so the people can sleep on the streets, so the city of Surrey and their bylaw officers, right along with police officers, can go and fucking harass them, right?
Rent in the homes that we support, and our partners are going to do the same. People may experience a drop in income or, in fact, the loss of employment. So we're streamlining those processes so that we can increase benefits on...
I'm going outside, people. I'm the city of Surrey, slave 101. Okay, I ate, and now I'm going outside.
This is a crisis unlike any that we have seen in our lifetimes. In order to help the most vulnerable, we need to work together. I'd like to thank the health authorities, our private sector partners, local governments, as well as our tenants and employees as we work to address this. Thank you.
People every day. 1,000 just average.
Thank you very much. We're going to go to questions now. Just a reminder, if you'd like to ask a question.
In December of 2014, lots of homeless people out here, were dying from the Surrey flu, okay? My kids were working at McDonald's serving 1,000 homeless people every day. At the tail end of December, and that's when the flu came, right? Both girls. And Sierra was running around doing what Sierra does. So grabbing up rocks. So between the kids working at McDonald's coming into contact with 2,000 people a day, whether 1,000 of them were homeless or not, and then Sierra coming, to the house, back and forth, doing whatever Sierra does, I got the flu, people. The last time I had a flu was in 2015. It went through the house. Everybody got it. I got it. Uncle John hadn't gotten it yet. Everybody else got it. I got it. And I slept for a week, people. Like, literally, I slept for a week. Uncle John held down the fort. And then just as I was coming out of it, right, now we're into January. By January 9th, I said, gee, John, God forbid if you get this cold, right, this flu, because right? You seen me sleep for a week. I think maybe I should go get the car on the road and, take you to the doctor, right? Get you checked out or whatever. And by the 11th, I went and got the car or insured the car or something. And then by the 13th, right? So I insured the car on January 9th. We were making plans to go to the doctor. Uncle John hadn't gotten it yet. I remember walking to go get my car insurance for my car that had been parked because I had spent $2,000 on it, drove it, and then the insurance ran out. So I just parked it, right? Everything was running and everything, and I bought new tires, and I did the brake lines and everything. So anyway, we agreed that I should insure the car just in case we needed it, right? And by this point, the 9th, he was still feeling okay, right? He hadn't gotten sick yet. And, but the kids had, and I think Andre was sick, everybody, right? And then by the 11th, he started showing signs, diarrhea and that type of thing, right? It was by the 11th. And so I said, okay, you're going to go to bed, and here's some soup, and here's ginger ale, and, the kids helped him with the shower, and, and the kids, Shmay and Uncle, Marcane, and then by the 12th, he was still in bed, right? He was still somewhat talkative to me and everything, and by the 13th, he was like loopy, because he developed delirium from a lung, like ammonia, right, in his chest, from having this flu. And, and I just said to him, I don't want to just take you to the doctor, John, because I slept for a week, and God forbid if you fall asleep on me, and you just sleep, you get dehydrated, and then what? And that's how he ended up in the hospital. The point was, what I'm trying to say is, people, is there's already been a killer flu out here, okay? Like 20 people, 40 people in 2014, at the tail end of 2014, in the first part of January of 2015, like 40 people out there died. I bet you I could take my camera out there, go interview a few people, and they'll tell you, they'll remember what it was like in 2015 with the homeless people out there dying from this Surrey flu that was going around, okay? And that's how they snagged into Uncle John, right? Because he went to the hospital under a non-emergency situation just to be sure that, because of his age, turned around and took his fucking money and ruined his life, people. So this stuff that they're doing right now, like, trust me, this is propaganda. Like, seriously, fentanyl is killing over 1,500 people a year in this province, and they ain't not talking about that other than give us more funding to do what? What they need to do is put the people in jail who sell the fentanyl or who use it for murder purposes, in terms of, murder by fentanyl, right? Because people are being murdered out here with fentanyl, and the provincial government is completely ignoring it, and have glossed it over with the word overdose so that they can get their funding for their little programs to help the addicts as they harvest the organs from the Shemays, right? Because they're pristine, and the way it's going on, get out of here, please. The way it's going on, I swear, I'm starting to think that they're EATING, some of these organs, because there's too much of that around it. Okay? It's like a fix with these people. So, for as much as they say they're helping the homeless people, they're not helping the homeless people. They're going to kick out Sierra from jail, and they're going to expect her to find a place at the supervision of the probation officer, and because she won't meet that expectation, because there's no place for her to go at the end of the day, right? It's just stupid, man, stupid. So anyway, I'm going to take this stupid video, and I'm going to go out in the yard and do stupid things. See, already they're evicting people out here, people.
Minister Robinson, you mentioned housing measures, obviously. We've spoken to a number of people who are receiving eviction notices for various different reasons they believe are all linked to COVID-19.
Okay, the thing is, people, the landlords out here, they're ruthless, okay? Because that's what's stimulating the economy in a big part, is the housing market. The minute I move out of this house, okay, and little by little I'm being squeezed out as I'm being worked like a slave. This is nothing new, right? Oh, I don't have to fix the porch. Yeah, okay. If I didn't fix the porch last year, people, it would have been a big problem. That porch would have came crashing down, first of all. Okay, I can guarantee you that. And the water would have been out of control on the porch in terms of the leaking. Okay, so obviously that took up my time, right? I've only got so much energy. But the point is, when I leave this place, even though I'm paying $19 right now, the deal was move in, stay as long as you want, and we'll never raise the rent. Okay, they've raised the rent by $400 now? $400 since I've been here. Okay, it's not so bad, right? I mean, obviously, the minute I move out, they'll rent it for $3,500, $3,600, double their money, right? Maybe even push for $4,000 now, right? Last year it was $3,500. This year might be $4,000. And this is why some of these landlords are bringing in all these students and stacking and packing these houses with 12 individuals that cover the rent, basically. Okay, and this is really nothing new, because when I first moved in onto the mainland and I went into Wally's house, and when I first looked at it, Wally's house, right, every room that I went into, there was a Punjabi. Every room on a 2-story house, including both bathrooms. So what does that tell you? And then, so anyway, they moved on. I guess the city shut them down or something. I guess there was too many people in there or something. And he had to take apart the downstairs, whatever he was doing down there, something, I don't know what the hell was going on. But anyway, we were there. And then as I was living there, I'd get 12 GST checks coming in individual names, with one of them, the 13th, I guess you could say, was a family allowance check. Big stack of envelopes, GST, for 12 individuals. Okay. What does that tell you? So, you see, kicking me out and having my family just disappear into the abyss like good old Uncle John and Auntie Shemay, it's nothing for these landlords that take any kind of opportunity, including having the city show up and start harassing you right in the beginning of spring. Okay? As you've got your government up there spewing rhetoric from its mouth as it's going to release Sierra from jail so she can run around out there completely fucking homeless, right? Pick up the germ and then bring it back to my house if the cops aren't bringing her to my house. I have a video with that Punjabi cop bringing Sierra to my house, telling me that I'm supposed to be looking after Sierra, even though Sierra obviously needed medical attention. I have it on video. This is not content. Okay? So, you know, like, this is crap. Since when does the provincial government care about the flu killing off the homeless people? It was happening in 2015, okay? And because they allowed it to happen in 2015, because it got rid of a whole bunch of homeless people throughout the province, right? Including fentanyl, right? You know, it scooped up on a few old people, right? And so that they could steal their money to prop up that fucking industry with their long-term care homes and whoever manages that industry, you know, human trafficking, because that's what it is.
You know, as we await what we're going to hear on Monday from the Premier and Finance Minister Carol James, what do you say to these people who are concerned about losing their homes, and how quickly can measures be put in place to ensure that landlords are also getting paid who are concerned about their tenants not being able to afford the rent?
Well, we don't want anyone to lose their homes as a result of this pandemic, and we are taking measures to ensure that in fact, doesn't happen.
First of all, how the hell can they call it a pandemic when only, like, I don't even know how many people have died in BC, but not that many people. We had 1,500 people die from fentanyl. There's your pandemic, okay? That is a man-made pandemic right there. But they're harvesting organs from them, Okay? So that's why they're not saying anything about it. Okay? That's why they're not putting people in jail because of it, people. That's why they're covering up murder, people. Because they're harvesting the organs, whether legally or illegally, with the fentanyl. That is the pandemic. But this here, how many people died from coronavirus in BC? Let's see. Let's see how many. 18 deaths. That's Canada. 1 death. 1 new death. How many died in BC? Not that many. 8. 8 people in the last 2 days. So in 2 days it was an update. 8 people have now died from coronavirus, and they came in from old folks' homes, which is standard business every year. Right? Nothing new. There's nothing new here, people. Outside of the BC government has jumped on this global agenda to start terrorizing its citizens in a passive-aggressive way to bring in martial law at its convenience, as they terrorize innocent families as they're being picked off one by one because we don't have the resources to defend ourselves. We can't get lawyers. We can't move. Right? Because there's no affordable housing left anymore. We can't ask the police to help us because you can't trust them and they don't care. If anything, they're part of the problem. You can't go to your local MLAs or MPs because they just give you lip service over, that's pretty standard practice with them, just like they're giving lip service right now. Just want to point that out. Okay, I'm going to go outside and work, and I'm not going to worry about this shit. I can't change the rhetoric, but it's just so full of rhetoric. Rhetoric. Who? If I get sick, it won't matter, people. I'll be outside working because of the city of Surrey and what the bullshit crap that they're putting on my family for the 3rd time because they're doing my landlord a favor so that she can get mad and kick me out and rent this place out for $3,700 to a bunch of freaking immigrant young people that just want to come here and go to school and then buy that property over there and that property over there and that property over there. Right? Because that ends up what's happening because they got family members already out here freaking doing it themselves. Right? The only reason the government is bringing in these young people to go to school out here is because they pay more money as they harvest the Chemets who were born here. So whatever they're talking about here in terms of helping the homeless, they don't care about the homeless, okay? Let's just keep that on the record. They don't care about the homeless. Because if they cared, they just wouldn't simply release Sierra out into the streets to arrest her again if they're not scraping her off the cement. As they're more than likely committing pharmacare fraud with her, healthcare number, giving services to immigrants who don't have healthcare as they're booking Sierra in and then kicking her out on the streets and not giving her the services. See? See the fence over there? See? That's why these things just rot off. Wind comes, blows them down. You can see. Where is it? Do you see? Yeah. Right? Doesn't take much for these things just to fall apart. He's always changing his fences. If you notice, he's got all on the ground over there. Anyway, raccoons have been kind to me. That's all I see. Right there. It used to be really bad in here, but I put stuff in here, people, to keep them out. Hopefully, and so far, it looks okay. This is just pine cones. See, they used to come in here all the time, right? But because I have stuff in here, like this, it's a little harder for them to use it. So, they kind of moved on. Right? And there's all my planning stuff. Right up in there. Right. And then I sprinkle this cedar, right? Just in here, right? Because this is natural antiseptic. It never spoils. Can you see that? This has been sitting here for years. Every year I grab some. And I sprinkle it around. Right. So that's not so bad in here. I don't have to worry. I just clean up that part. Right? This is still good for the yard. You know what this stuff is. I don't know. Okay. I try not to lean things up against the fence. Right? He got screwed in and over there. See? Yeah. He's doing his own fence repairs too. The one over there blew off. Oh, I'm so not up for this, people. I'm not ready for this, man. Yeah, I'm kinda dizzy. Okay, I don't know. Kinda got this camera. Kinda got this camera on my planter pot. I'm telling you, people, I'm gonna have to bring out the skill saw. Okay, I have no place to move this wood around. I need to use it. Right? Along these compost beds, or these garden beds that have been here forever. So I'm like thinking, right now I'm thinking, okay, because I really don't want to be out here. I don't feel that great. I'm a little worn out. That's all. But after this, I'm going to show you that compost right there. Well, sorry, it's not a compost. It's a garden bed. It's a garden box, right? And I'll show you how I have to repair it. And I'm looking at them all, right now. Like, I know I have to repair that one. And I know I should at least remove half of that wood there. And before I chuck it out, it'll be perfectly fine to run in here and around, fix up that one. My stomach is gurgling, right? I'm thinking to take off this stuff over here, but there's no emergency on that. I wanted to build in, obviously, shelving in here, right? But there's only so much you can do, right? And this isn't even really the hot spot. The hot spot is like right there. And a little bit out in the front with the buckets with the sand in it and stuff like that. But, you know, I mean, come on. I'm not going to have that pond in fucking 28 days or 27 days. It's impossible. You need like men, like a whole group of men in order to put a pond in. And even then it takes up to a week or more to do it. And that's with like 2 or 3 guys working all fucking day long. And they know what they're doing. So I don't know what I'm going to do with those buckets of sand, other than maybe put them in the center of the pond, and then people are so ungrateful these days. They're just bullies. So many fucking bullies is pathetic. The world is just going like nuts in terms of everybody beating each other up for one reason or another. All the way down the food chain. And of course, I might need some of this wood to fix these fucking fences. So I think what I should be doing next week, for sure, is coming out with my skill saw. And just start hammering. Oh, won't that be fun? as much as I can back here, and then of course on the side of the house over there, I'm going to build up another garden bed. Only that side of the house doesn't get very much sun, so. Do you see my tree? It's growing. My little baby tree. This is a weeping willow, people. Yeah, a little weeping willow. Oh, I love this tree. Oh yeah, I think I'm going to dig up this white oak and put them in a planter pot. They don't require a lot of space for their roots, and they'll be happy. Because I put that thing on it to make it curl, but it kind of loosened itself, so I'm pretty sure I could probably dig out its root now and put it into a pot and it might survive. So maybe I should be thinking about doing that. I'm not getting very much done today, people. No. I'm severely depressed with it all. My holly trees are getting bigger. Right. My landlady says, "Why you got so many trees? You got to get rid of them." I like them. Right? Because what it is they take up space to grow food. She thinks I should just plant food, and nothing but food. And I don't mind planting some food, but I don't want everything to be food, especially when all the trees are being cut down. And the only thing they're putting back up are ornamental trees that are ugly. That have no character. Right? Don't produce anything other than a bunch of leaves. And that's it. That's all they produce. And they're stunted. Go along some of these monster houses and all you see is these stunted little trees. I don't know, people. I'm on some foreign planet that's been colonized, you know, with a colony from some alien fucking planet. Yeah. You think I'd be happy, right, by my weeping willow, eh? I'm not ready to skill saw, people. I'm not strong enough. You have to have stamina to hold a skill saw and not let it fucking cut you when it jumps. Sometimes you catch it, it jumps, right? You gotta be a steady hand to make sure that it doesn't fly off and cut you. My stomach is gurgling. Maybe I am coming down with something sick.
Anna?
Hold on a minute.
There's something going on with Netflix.
Nothing I can do about that.
There's these two big words in it, and it's actually really weird too.
Okay, well just exit out. Obviously there's something wrong. I'm doing a video. Just exit out of it.
I just meant there's just two words.
Use a VCR. I'll come in later. I don't want to take off my boots right now. Okay? Anyway, I think today is not going to be a very good day. I just want to lay down and rest my body, basically. But I'll stay out here for a little while longer. But I'll show you what I mean by having to do, that one's for crafts. I don't think there's anything in there. It's probably empty now. I just drill a hole on it, put it on a wind chime or something. Do you see? So, and that's another thing. When they ripped up those what do you call those things? Those cupboards and shit downstairs, And the floor? Who do you think got rid of the cupboards and the flooring and all that? It was me, people. It took me fucking weeks to break that shit up and bag it and then get it fucking taken out of here. Right? The flooring, you seen what I did with it last year. I brought it in here and I made flooring in here to recycle the wood. You know, that took like 2 weeks to do, 3 weeks to do that shit. Anyway, do you see that? That's the cupboard, top of the cupboard, the countertop, right? So it doesn't spoil, okay? Right? So I'm going to take that, and once I get in there and do something in there, and lay that down so it's like, you know, it's good, right? Never rots. It's like that countertop. So I'm going to move all this, and I guess I'm going to take off this so that I can start fixing this garden bed. And do you see here? This was one of the first ones I ever made. Now it's still pretty sturdy, but because it's been here for, 10 years? 9 years? 10 years? I'm going to take some of this miscellaneous wood that I have around the yard, and I'm going to piece them in here just to reinforce it, right? Because, you know, over time, eh? So here I'm going to fix that one, right? Probably run another board or 2 or 3 in here. Fill this up just a bit more, right? Moving slow, dude. Can you tell? This one here I have to repair, right? Just reinforce things. You can see it's getting loose, right? So, you know, run some more, pull out all these plants, and just double check everything. We know I want to do that one over there. And I'm afraid if I don't start doing it now, when the city comes, they'll be like, get rid of the wood. And I'll be there, but I need it because I have to finish. I want to, right, fix things. This one I'm not too sure. I'm thinking to take this off. But sometimes when I'm carrying heavy things, I like it. But do you see? I have to repair it. Right? Because when I'm carrying heavy things and I get to this point, I just, and I put it right here and I rest it for a minute. Right? But, you know. This is a mess. Yeah. And then of course I've got these things. So I'll pull them out. Did this last year. This is in good shape. It's holding up pretty good. This is nice. Fixed it. My son helped me. We rebuilt it. This was the first compost that I ever made when I first moved in. There's Fertile Myrtle poking her head over. Right? I cleared out in here. So far it seems to be okay. Just looking here. So you see this is okay. This is sturdy. Not these. These things always blow off. Always. But the beams are good. The guys did a really good job with the beams. Right. Jerry did that to hold it so everything's nice and tight in here except for this shit. So I have to fix that. Right? And I wanted to get up in here, clear this out this year. Obviously I have wood, right? You can see for whatever. Maybe I might want to build this up and enrich the ground in here. This is one thing of raspberry, but the ground needs to be enriched. So, you know, some of this wood, just make a little box around it to, you know, 3 or 4 like stacked all the way around. Move the rocks, dig it up a bit, throw in some good dirt, and you're good to go. There's the greenhouse. Alright. And I do use these buckets all year round. That's why they pile up, right? Because it's winter right now. I mean, it was winter. But come spring, when the freaking weeds start to grow, it gets ridiculous. Yeah, that's all I do, is pick weeds. These big ones, yeah, I know. These big ones, I don't know. I got one big one over there. Blue's not really my color, but maybe Andre and I can find a color.
That's my favorite color.
Yeah, well, not for a planter pot. But if you notice, right.
Like, this is the worst on the laptop, and I'm trying to X out of. I have to rope them.
My download, try again. Exit out and try again.
I did that twice.
Well, I don't know, something wrong with it.
I want to X out, but...
Okay, well, anyway, just go on. I'll just turn it off, go watch a video. I'm not going to be out here much longer. Nana's tired, okay? I told you. I'm moving like a snail right now. Wasting time. I'd be better off in the sewing room doing paperwork. Sorting out Auntie Shamay's medical files.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go inside, Andre. I'll be there in 10 minutes, okay?
10 minutes?
Yeah, about that. Put on the VCR. You don't need to watch Netflix.
Okay.
Okay.
Love you.
Yeah, love you too. See, when I get tired, I get cranky. Oh my God! Close the door! She's coming in with a fucking rat! Andre! Close the door! Andre! Hurry up! Sky had a rat!
Really?
Where is she?
She's down there. It is still alive.
Close the door! I don't want her bringing it in the house. She has kittens. That's what it is. She has kittens. So she catches birds and rats, and she tries to give it to the kittens. She catches them and brings them to the kittens. That's what she does. She has 4 little kittens. They're so cute. Want to do a little video on it. So that's good. She caught a rat over there. So. And don't think there's no rats in fucking Surrey. If rats are everywhere, you walk to the corner store and you see them running across the street. Right. There's one good thing about having cats, though. They're pretty good at that. And catching rats. Right? That's kind of one reason I put up with them. Right? I don't like it when they kill birds, though. That's why we put bells on them. Because they would... Sky is really bad. She's black cat, so they don't see her, right? Mickey used to be pretty good at catching birds, too. Elsie, she doesn't really catch anything. All Elsie does, and yeah, Elsie's still around. All she does is just run around the yard and the house with socks and little baby clothes and face cloths, and she just scatters them everywhere, just everywhere, because she thinks they're kittens, right? So she puts them in her mouth and she runs around, meow, 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 and she leaves a trail of them. I get up in the morning, or I open the door, and there's socks and all kinds of crazy shit around. From Elsie. Boy, I'm getting a lot done, eh, people? Like, I'm too tired. Can't work when you're tired. That's how your immune system gets down, right? Plus, I'm trying to think how to tackle this problem where I'm not wasting a lot of time, right? So, start with this right here. This one. This one. I get really reluctant throwing out my buckets. I don't mind throwing them out when they're broken. As they break, I've been throwing them out. But I don't like throwing out my buckets because they pile up freaking fast throughout the summer and fall with all the weeds and everything. And I have to separate, right? I have to separate the morning glory from the other weeds because I can't put morning glory into the compost box. Because if I do that, then it becomes a morning glory fucking party, right? That's all you're going to get out of it is morning glory. So you have to separate them, right? And they pile up real fast. I'm just bitching. I don't want to be here anymore, people. I really don't. I know that's how I feel right now. Like I said yesterday, I'm tired of the abuse. When I moved in, this yard was nothing but fucking weeds. Like bad. It was all weeds. Morning glory. Mud. A river ran through here. Grit. And algae. When everything died in the winter and the fall, everything just turned to algae. And raccoon shit. That's all that was back here. From that end of the fence, all the way down. From that end of the fence, all the way over there. It's been a long, long 10 years. Yeah, I'm kind of not feeling that great today. Can you tell? City of Surrey, Slave 101. You couldn't just leave it for a couple more months, right? Of course not. It's not the agenda. As the government's calling it a pandemic with 8 deaths. Even though in 2015 there was 40 of them with just a flu. And that's what I'm aware of. It's almost like 40. It was more than 20. It was like 40 of them. 40 people out in the streets. And that's what I'm aware of. Just because I was, around and about. People were talking about it because they were scared. There was no big hype. Nope. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. I just want to go lay down. I don't want to move. I'm not up for it today, people. In the old days, I could do 4 days in a row. Now it's 2, if that. I'm just getting, every year it's just getting harder and harder. Alright. This ringing in my ears, sometimes I think it's something in my house. What, energy weapon? Probably. These things, energy weapons, they make you sick. Right? It's radiation. I think once they bring out this 5G or whatever it's called, like really bring it out, people are going to start getting more and more and more sick from the radiation. And the way the government's going to cover it up is by bringing in these pandemics, putting everybody on lockdown and blaming a pandemic of like a flu versus the actual radiation poisoning. And because they have Wi-Fi in every facility now, like old folks' homes, hospitals, schools, freaking shopping malls, everywhere you go, they're bringing in these smart things and smart appliances into the houses, that connect to each other through Wi-Fi, which is a form of radiation. The ones that are making the money off of it, they're not going to tell you that it can kill you. They'll tell you in 40 years from now, well, 44 years. I've been smoking for 44 years, and it took the government 44 years to bring in crap tobacco that's basically going to kill you faster than if they just would have left the tobacco alone. Right? Because you've got all these Puritans taking over the planet as they're harvesting organs, right? It's the Puritans that are harvesting the good people. It's the good people who are harvesting the organs, people, right? And they want to keep you healthy for a reason, so they can harvest your organs. In the meantime, they've taken tobacco and they've basically turned it into garbage, where everybody's complaining about what they're smoking now, right? As they're making you pay out of your nose for a pack of smokes. So they can steal your organs. Because that's what they're doing. Yep. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to get very much done. I really don't want to be out here, people. I'm too depressed. I think maybe that's what it is. I think I should just go inside and fuck this shit. Deal with it next week. Bring out the skill saw, and that's when it will be real cold. Now, I wish the hell I stayed outside, but I got an upset stomach from bending like this yesterday. I was bending, right? Bending. Squishing myself. Just, like I told you, I couldn't walk. I came in and I felt like I was 92 years old, all stiff from exercising 2 days in a row. And I haven't even really started to do shit. See how hard it is for me to get up? City of Surrey, Slave 101. I'm definitely feeling like a slave today, people. Anyway, people, I'm crashing. I'm not. I'm just not getting with this right now. Okay? So, I don't know. I think what I took out that, what is it called? White oak. I just put it right there for now. I need to go get my drill versus trying to do it with a hammer and nails. I think it was just easier just to go get a drill and just try and drill some holes. And then I'll probably put it right here for now. This always dies because of the rain coming off of that crap all the time. But we know those seeds are there, right? So, I don't know, maybe I'll move this. Either or. That's where we'll put that tree. Put it in there. I'm not moving too fast here. I think I'm going inside, people. This is not day